Hey, Alan, how you doing today?
Awesome, thanks, Carl. Awesome, thanks, man. I just got back from Bucharest via Istanbul, and I'm feeling fantastic. I've had a great day on the phone talking to people. Life is good.
Man on a plane, I call you from now because every time I speak to you, and you're normally in another country or you're heading somewhere, it's hard to tie you down these days.
Yeah, it's another day, another plane, I like to say.
That's awesome. Yeah, making a difference on a global scale, you certainly are. And big fan of yours, you know that. And
Thank you, Carl.
wanted to chat to you today about something you're doing with us at the YES Group,
Yes,
something called YESx. It has its
yes,
roots going back, where we've given people coming into the industry an opportunity to do a showcase. For this, at the moment, it's 15 minutes of showcasing, and you're going to be talking about that in more detail at the next YES Group, which is coming up on Wednesday, the 28th of March.
yes, yes. Very exciting for anyone who's watching this recording or the Zoom call. It's very exciting. YESx, as Carl said, is a great opportunity for people who want to get onto the stage for the very first time. People, especially people who have got fear around speaking, and maybe they feel they have a story, but they also have a lot of fear that stops them from stepping on that stage. And you know as well as I do, Carl, there's lots of people who have that fear that stops them and holds them back for many, many years,
Yeah, I mean, me. I think for me, I one of the things that
Me too.
I never felt like I needed to get on the stage, so I didn't for a very long time. And then I was thinking, well, actually, it's good. It's challenging me because, and if those guys can do it, so can I do it. Or my friends are coming through the group and they're doing this. So I thought, well, I better step up. And what I learned from that is that it's a leadership process of growing myself. And it's one of the best ways to challenge myself, if you like, in that time. The people say that the fear of public speaking is next to the fear of death, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like I've broken that and really grown in the process. And I feel there's so much more to go, but it's a good exercise, don't you think?
Absolutely, my friend. You hit that nail on the head there. I think, and it's interesting that you say that you didn't feel you needed to. And in my experience of speaking and working with speakers and watching speakers, that's just another way. That's another buffer for your own fear. Because I've had a lot of people say the same thing to me. Well, I don't need to get on the stage, but really, there's a fear there. It's like I don't need to get on the stage, but because but really there's an unconscious fear there. Because once you get on the stage, you recognize there's such a freedom there that you develop a freedom, and it really does expand confidence in all areas of life. And by getting I always say to people, listen, you don't have to want to be an international speaker. You don't have to want to be, a famous person. But just by getting on a stage, it grows your confidence. And that confidence, it permeates every relationship in your life.
Yeah. So I find now my challenge is how can I model other people like yourself, like other people, to be more influential when I have something to talk about. Because
Yes.
what I brought it down to is that I'm going to do this from a mission-driven perspective. So my mission about creating global YES groups and having a YES group for everybody accessible in the world is a big hairy goal, as people say. But it's
Yes.
to do that, I need to be out there. And one of the things I said this year, I go up on the stage and make announcements and do presentations at other YES groups. One of the things I said this year is that actually I'm going to start taking other invitations and looking for those invitations so that I actually, again, put myself in a bit more of an uncomfortable zone, because when I'm at the YES Group, I know what reception I'm going to get. Whereas when I'm going to be there, I've got to earn the respect of the audience, so to speak, because they don't know me. And that's been something that's been I've been doing. I recently spoke at Inspired, and I'm speaking for someone else, Rag, this coming Saturday as well. So it's getting there,
Good. Yeah, and I think I'd like to just add to what you've just said there, because I think it's very, very important. People must remember that getting on a stage is not really about public speaking. It's not really about becoming somebody who speaks to thousands of people. If you think about what's behind that initial intention, is that people judge you in the world today. People will judge you very, very quickly on what you say within the first few seconds. And unconsciously and consciously, people are judging you on the way you articulate yourself, the way you communicate, the way you announce yourself. And so a lot of people, they have a very, they not difficult, but their articulation doesn't flow easily because they're in their head and they're not sure what to say and when to say it. And so what it gives you confidence so that you can say what you want to say when you want to say it easily without worrying about it. And when you articulate like that, it really opens doors in every area of life, every area of business, because people will judge you and they'll be impressed by your vocabulary and by your articulation and the way you enunciate and the way you communicate. And communication is key. So I think, this YESx thing is so powerful for people who really want to take their communication to the next level and become more confident in the way they communicate with people one-on-one or one-to-many. And I know I was like you myself. I was one of those people who wanted to be a speaker, but my fear held me back for so long. And then eventually I did my first talk at YES Group in 2000, and it opened the door for me in so many ways, and so I'm very, very, very grateful for that opportunity. I think people will love it.
Yeah, there's been some amazing people that have, done the YESx and come and spoke at the YES Group in London and various other YES Groups as well. They've gone on a pathway of growth through that. Recently, Flavia, who is the chair at YES Group leader in Norwich, she's coming down to Oxford to do a presentation on Tuesday, which is fantastic, at the YES Group there. And she did an awesome job at the goal setting event we had in January. So it's really giving her a pathway, and it really comes down to how committed people are and to learn that skill and to be able to go out and do it. But what it does, it gives the people a lot more attraction. As we know, people, when I say attraction, I mean people want to know more about you. They want to know more your story. They want to know how they can connect with you better. They want to know what you know. So that they can improve their own lives. And I think that's something that has been proven again and again. I think I had a really nice message from Mac Attram on one of the feeds through the Facebook to say that, he'd started his speaking career at the YES Group and has gone on obviously to be a well-renowned speaker, where he's traveling sort of 6 months of the year on a plane like yourself to all parts of the world. So it's really great to see friends develop themselves. And, Mac and I were both very young in it, so to speak, when we both were doing our initial talks even, and that was really something that I've seen him grow massively through. So yeah, he's got several businesses, he's very successful, and he gets a lot of people wanting to know more about what he does and how he does it. So he's successful on that, and it's just great to see you going out and to Russia and to Bulgaria, was it, or Romania this month?
I was in Romania, Bucharest.
Yesterday.
Yeah, this weekend I was in Bucharest. Yeah, for the first time in Romania. First time, really enjoyed it. It was lovely. I actually, sorry, what happened was I missed some of that. What you said, that we said froze on my screen here. So I missed maybe 45, 60 seconds of what you said. So when you said you were talking about someone whose business was expanding, whose was that?
Well, I mentioned Mac Attram, but there's been many other people as well. What I would say is that I just wanted to let people know what the YESx event happens on the Saturday, the 28th of April. And what we're going to be doing there is we're going to be having 3 or 4 of us that are going to be coaching and judging all of the people. And the best of the 15 will go on to the main YES Group stage to speak in front of maybe up to 200, maybe more people. And also we're going to have a winner, like a bit of a competition we thought this year. And we're going to create 2 significant prizes for them. One being a massive social media campaign to showcase their fantastic talk and let everybody know when they're coming to the YES Group to Maine to do that. And also to enhance their skill set, to develop themselves, because we believe that whoever's going to be that person, they're going to want to enhance their skill set. And that's to come and onto your training course. And I just thought, well, could you please give us an insight into how long that's for, what it is, and what people will get from that?
It's 5 days. It's $1 Million Message. I call it $1 Million Message. It's about helping people to take their message, refine it, and really craft it in a way that they can share that message powerfully, that it creates impact and it creates the kind of influence they want to have. Because people, more and more people every day, I think it's probably one of the fastest growing areas of personal development is public speaking and professional speaking and inspirational speaking, where people are going to rooms and they're seeing speakers, they're getting inspired and they're saying, I'd love to do that. I've got a story too. When they hear an inspirational speaker talk about how they overcame their own demons or they overcame their own adversity, people think, I've also had adversity. I'd love to share my story too. So $1 Million Message is 5 days and it goes into everything about public speaking. There's a lot of public speaking workshops that are very, very good. A lot of professional speaking workshops that are very good, but I've yet to come across in my 30 years of education and study myself is to find a comprehensive training, speaking training that covers stagecraft, creating a message, refining it, delivering it, confidence, what to do, what not to do, audience manipulation. And I say manipulation with tongue in cheek, but it's really audience, working with the audience and taking the audience where you want to take them, using your message to take the audience where you want to take them on an emotional roller coaster, using stories effectively, you know, in a way that teaches very, very powerful points, but at the same time takes the audience on an emotional roller coaster and creating a story, telling the story in a way where you actually painting a picture. So the audience is now, they actually, what they're doing is they're going through their own consciousness, but they're relating to your story and they're thinking about their own lives and they're relating to it. And it's, so there's a lot that goes into it where, you know, so it's a very exciting program. And really what it does, the underlying outcome is to really help people to articulate their, you know, effectively, confidently, and be able to share a message in whether it's 5 minutes or, you know, 105 minutes, in a way where they know how to, you know, get that message across in the most powerful way possible, without too much waffle and without, you know, spending too much time telling a story where people get bored, you know. So it's really, it's an art, you know, it's an art.
Yeah.
And I'm very lucky. I've had some amazing training from some of the best in the world, you know, one of those guys being Tony, really. So, yeah.
So how many days is it?
5 days.
And they all go back to back, 5 days straight, yeah?
5 days straight, yeah.
So
very intense.
Total immersion into the system.
Total immersion, 5 days, very practical. Every day is practical. Practical and theory. So each day is split up into practical and theory, and it's very interactive and it's awesome. So it's going to be, it's the kind of environment where people wouldn't have seen, I don't think, in terms of public speaking training, where it'll be a completely different environment to any people have ever seen before. It's and I don't want to give too much away because I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I'm excited about it because it's something that I've been working on for a long time.
And when's that coming up?
That one is coming up in June.
June.
Yeah, May or June. I can't remember the date right now, but I've got the dates, and I'll have them when we get to we're at the YESx group. I'll have those dates.
Sounds great. So I know that you're going to be doing a little, a cameo presentation, sharing a bit more about what we've spoken to about today, as well as giving some people some ideas and tips to basically perk their presentation, or so to speak.
Yes.
Did you want to share anything else about what you're going to do on the day, or are you going to keep that a surprise?
I can share. No, I'll share. I'll give a little insight, a little glimpse.
Okay, great.
And what I'd like to say, anyone who's watching this recording, I apologize if I do seem tired, or if you know me and I don't see myself, because I haven't slept, you know, in 36 hours, and it's been a fascinating weekend. I was telling Carl that I couldn't get home. I was supposed to be home yesterday, and I only got home this morning. But no excuses.
Alan loves airports. I'm going to get you a T-shirt.
Yeah. What I want to say is about what I'm going to be sharing on the 28th next week is I'm going to be sharing what I believe are the 5 crucial things to being able to powerfully influence somebody, whether you're talking one-on-one or one-to-many. You need these 5 things, and these are the things that most people miss. Most people are missing. So I'm going to be sharing those 5 things that people need, and all of these 5 things are tied to each other. And with that, if one of them is missing, then, you know, the other 4 really fall flat. So if you've got these 5 and you work on only these 5 things, then you become a better speaker by far, just in a very short space of time, if you just work on these 5 things. And
you're going to encourage all of our members to step up, right? Because
Yes.
That's what it's about, right?
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to encourage all the members to step up. And I know a lot of people are afraid to get onto a stage, but it's also one of the greatest, you know, it could be the greatest challenge, but it'll also be one of your greatest breakthroughs by far.
Would you say it's about giving yourself permission?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. People need to give themselves the permission to do that.
Because nothing's going to be perfect, right? I mean,
No.
I get on the stage and I sometimes forget some of the things I was going to say. Nobody knows.
Absolutely. I remember the very first time I spoke at the YESx group in 2000, I was all over the place. My gosh, it was like spaghetti thrown against the wall, you know.
We like to say to people that are going to do the YESx, bring some content, you know, whether it be a story that's going to inspire people, or it's something you've learned, something you can teach to other people. That's fine. You know, if it's someone else's content, that's fine. You know, credit them, but, you know, just come along and share that in a way to make a difference to the audience. So there's value there. And if there's value there, then, you know, it's your first time doing that, then and we think you're good enough to go on the stage, you're good enough to go on the stage. And if you're just going to come along and do the YESx audition, which is on, as I say, it's on Saturday the 28th of April, then what better place could there possibly be than to be with 15 other people who are also going through that at the same sort of time, who are also challenging themselves and are all going to be really supportive and help you and give you tips and ideas. There is no better environment to kick off and to challenge yourself to do that. Because if you do a fantastic presentation, then suddenly you're going to be fast-tracked onto the main stage. And I just really wanted to say that that's my challenge. It's the YESx challenge, and you've got great people around you, including Geeta Taylor, that's going to support you in that.
Yeah. And Carl, you sound like you're starting to speed up. Are we running out of time? You started...
Well, yeah. We've got a few more minutes if you want to say anything else. Is there anything else you wanted to share?
Yeah. I was just going to add to what you just said right now. That's what you just said is so powerful and important. It's really, I believe everybody has something to teach. I believe that everybody has something to teach other people, because everybody has had unique experiences and painful experiences and adversity in their life. And everyone has some value to add to other people. However, we live in a world where people are speaking to each other all the time. And then when they get the opportunity to step on the stage, their fear gets in the way. And then they forget that they actually speak to people all day long. So it's really about reminding people about that ability to be able to teach what they've learned in their own life to other people, because other people will want to learn that if they know there's value there. But that you've got to be able to communicate that in a very specific way, because you don't want to just be one of those people out there where there's millions of people who are speakers and nobody really ever gets to know who they are, because they don't really deliver their message in a powerful way and they've never really learned how to do that. So what we're going to teach people at this program is we're going to teach them not to be a speaker. We're going to teach you how to be a communicator. And there's a very different thing between being a communicator and a speaker. Everybody's a speaker, but very few people communicate. And to communicate needs to really master the art in delivery of message. When you can deliver your message in a succinct and powerful manner, then you can bypass any resistance very quickly, and you can reach somebody emotionally and touch them in a deep place in their heart where they feel inspired to follow through on what you are asking them to do. When you have present people with a call to action and it's been backed up by a very powerful story and people understand your intention, then everything shifts. Then you can take an audience and you can really take them to a place they've never been before. And that is art.
I want to leave it there. I love art. Allan, we're going to talk more, and we're going to see hopefully lots of you at the YES Group next Wednesday, 28th of March. So yes. I just wanted to throw it out there. It's not this coming Wednesday, that's the 21st. That's in a couple of days. But yeah, 28th of March, we're going to have an awesome night. We've got two fantastic other speakers coming along as well. Ian
Absolutely.
Young.
I'm excited about the other speakers.
He's going to rock the night. And Brandon Block is going to rock the night.
Brandon Block and Ian Young. Listen, if you haven't been to the YES Group for a long time, or if you've never been to the YES Group, or even if you've been coming regularly, make sure you don't miss next week, the 28th. Just like Carl said, we got Ian Young, who's a living legend, and we got Brandon Block. If you don't know who he is, check him out. Find him out on YouTube. Check him out on Google. But these two gentlemen, both these two gentlemen, they've got so much wisdom, so much experience to add, and they both come from such a great place in terms of their love. So make sure you join us on the 28th of March. You're going to have an absolutely fun evening. It's going to be awesome.
We'll see you there. Thanks, Allan.
Thanks, Carl.
Ciao.
Cheers, bud.